Nobody cares about your excuses or your struggles. The world keeps moving and doesn't pause for anyone's problems. This might sound harsh, but it's also freeing. It means the only person who truly controls your success is you. You have the power to decide how hard you're willing to work, how much effort you want to give every single day. When nobody is cheering for you or paying attention, that is the moment to show up stronger than ever. It's about using what feels like a setback as the fuel to push yourself higher. In this video, we're going to explore how to turn struggle into strength by raising your own standards and refusing to settle for anything less. If you want to break through, if you want to rise above the noise and build something real, then this message is for you. Stay with me, and let's uncover how you can work harder when no one else is watching. Let's begin. Number 1. Accept the pain and outwork everyone in silence. Life doesn't wait for anyone, and it doesn't soften just because you feel tired or overwhelmed. That's the truth. Nobody is going to show up to carry your burden for you. People are busy with their own lives, their own problems, their own pain. That's why you have to take full responsibility for your own journey. You have to accept that some days will feel heavy. Some moments will test you. And in those moments, the easiest thing in the world is to complain, to wish things were different, to wait for someone to care. But if you want to build something with your life, if you want to rise above average, you can't afford that mindset. You have to accept the pain and still keep moving. When you're tired, you work. When you're doubted, you work. When you're ignored, you work. It's not about what others think of you. It's not about whether they cheer for you or see your efforts. What matters is how much you're willing to give when no one's watching. That's where the real growth happens. That's where your character is formed. In silence, in the late hours, in the early mornings, when you choose to stay focused instead of distracted, when you push through even though your body wants rest and your mind looks for comfort. There's something powerful about working in silence. No announcements, no showing off, no waiting for someone to clap. It builds something inside you that nobody can take away. It's where self-respect is born. It's where confidence comes from. Not because someone told you that you're doing great, but because deep inside you know you didn't quit. You stayed consistent. You gave it all even when it hurt, and you did it without asking for attention or validation. That kind of discipline is rare. Most people want to feel ready before they move. They wait for the right time, the right mood, the right words from others. But here's the hard truth. Those moments of motivation are short. They don't last. What lasts is the habit you build when you work through pain. What lasts is the toughness you create when you get up anyway. When you keep going without anyone pushing you. When you accept the pain, you stop seeing it as punishment. You start seeing it as a necessary part of the path. You stop fighting it and start using it. The hard days become part of the training. The moments of frustration become fuel. You're not waiting for comfort anymore. You're not needing to be understood or supported. You are doing the work because it needs to be done. That's power. That's freedom. You might be going through things nobody knows about. Family problems, financial pressure, doubt, anxiety. All of it real. All of it heavy. And still the answer is the same. Work harder. Not as an escape. Not to run away from life. But to build the future you deserve. Because doing nothing doesn't make it better. Sitting in pain without action only increases the suffering. But when you take that same pain and turn it into work, something changes. You begin to feel alive. You begin to feel in control. This isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to give in. It's about standing up even with tears in your eyes. It's about learning how to stay calm in the storm. And most importantly, it's about doing the work, especially when it feels like no one cares. The world respects the ones who keep going. Not the loudest, not the flashiest, but the most consistent. The ones who show up when it's boring. The ones who stay late to finish what they started. The ones who put in effort when there's no reward in sight. That's who rises. That's who earns their place. And the beautiful part is, you don't need anything special to be that person. You just need a decision. A decision to keep going. A decision to stop making excuses. A decision to accept the pain and still choose to work. You will be underestimated. You will be misunderstood. You will be ignored. And none of that is a reason to stop. Use it. Use every bit of it. Let it sharpen you. Let it push you. But don't talk about it. Don't argue with people. Don't try to prove anything with your words. Prove it with your actions. Prove it with your habits. Prove it with your consistency. Silence is a powerful place to grow. When you work without noise, you build something more than results. You build self-control. You build emotional strength. You become unshakable. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop being controlled by what others say or think. Because you know what you're doing. You know why you wake up early. You know why you stay committed. And you don't need to explain it. Most people give up when it starts to hurt. They want the rewards, but not the sacrifice. They want the destination, but not the road. You need to be different. You need to decide that pain is part of the process. You need to decide that your goals matter more than your temporary feelings. You need to outwork everyone, not because you're trying to compete, but because you know what it takes to win your own life. This is what separates the serious from the talkers. Anyone can talk, few can endure. Anyone can start, few finish. But you can be one of the few. You can be the one who rises quietly. You can be the one who gets it done without fanfare. You can be the one who refuses to stop just because the journey gets uncomfortable. And the truth is, it's going to be uncomfortable often. There will be setbacks. There will be delays. There will be moments where you wonder if it's worth it. That's normal. But it's in those moments where you must remember, nobody is going to care as much as you do. So you must carry the responsibility. You must take ownership. And you must keep pushing. Because every day you stay consistent, you're building something, even when you can't see it, even when it doesn't show yet. You're building trust with yourself. You're building habits that lead to strength, and eventually people will notice. Not because you ask them to, but because your life will start to reflect the effort you've poured into it. But that's not why you do it. You do it because you decided to be better. You do it because you refuse to waste your potential. You do it because you respect yourself too much to live average. That's the mission. That's the standard. You accept the pain, and you outwork everyone in silence, and you keep doing it until you've built a life that no longer needs to be explained. Number 2, stop explaining yourself and improve your results daily. There comes a point where talking no longer serves your growth. The more time you spend trying to explain your intentions or your struggles or your dreams, the less time you have to actually build something meaningful. You don't need to tell people what you're going to do. You don't need to justify why you're not where you want to be yet. What you need to do is improve your output, improve your consistency, improve your results every single day. People don't believe what they hear. They believe what they see. They believe progress. They believe execution. They believe proof. And proof doesn't come from more talking. It comes from daily effort. Quiet, steady, real effort. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your goals. You don't need to report your plans. What you owe yourself is effort. What you owe your future is discipline. What you owe your potential is progress that speaks for itself. Every time you feel the urge to explain yourself, remind yourself that explanations don't build results. They don't lift the weight. They don't finish the work. They don't get you better. All they do is drain your energy and distract your focus. While others are posting about what they're planning to do, you could be getting better at what you're doing. While others are asking for understanding, you could be creating improvement that needs no explanation. You have limited time and energy every day. If you waste it defending your dreams to people who don't understand your vision, you're weakening your path. You're watering down your conviction. The strongest people are the ones who no longer need agreement from others. They've learned that approval is not a requirement. What matters is that you stay locked in on the work. What matters is that you are better today than you were yesterday. That means tracking your habits. That means making your days count. That means pushing forward even if no one claps or compliments or recognizes your effort. You don't get better by being seen. You get better by improving when no one is around. You get better by setting a standard and showing up to meet it again and again. The results will come if you commit to the work. But if you keep looking over your shoulder for permission, you'll slow yourself down. Your actions can be loud enough. Your performance can make the statement. Your growth can answer every doubt, but only if you focus on the right things. Results are built when you stop wasting time explaining who you are and start showing it in how you live, in how you move, in how you treat your time. Results are built when you care more about your development than your defense. You don't need to respond to every opinion. You don't need to give reasons for why you're quiet or why you're missing out or why you're locked in. Your vision should guide you more than your need to be understood. If you give yourself fully to the process, if you lock into progress, the results will come. And when they do, they'll say everything you've been trying to say, only better, only clearer, only louder. This is about maturity. It's about growing into someone who values real progress over empty approval. When you stop explaining, you stop giving others power over your choices. When you stop seeking to be understood, you reclaim the energy that belongs to your goals. When you stop justifying your path, You give yourself space to grow into it fully. There's no strength in trying to convince people who aren't even in your shoes. There's strength in quiet consistency. There's strength in discipline. There's strength in moving forward every day without the need to be noticed. And that's the kind of life that builds real confidence. Not confidence based on how others respond to you, but confidence that comes from doing the work when it's hard. Confidence that grows every day. You show up regardless of how you feel. You can't fake that. You can't pretend to have it. It's earned through repeated effort, through choosing to improve even when it's inconvenient, or lonely, or difficult. Every day is a new chance to get better. You're not responsible for how fast others notice. You're responsible for how committed you are to improvement. You can either spend your energy explaining why you're not where you want to be, or you can spend that energy getting closer to where you want to be. One drains you. The other builds you. One keeps you stuck. The other sets you free. If someone doubts your ability, let them. If someone questions your decisions, let them. If someone doesn't understand your silence, let them. You're not here to meet everyone's expectations. You're here to become everything you are capable of becoming. And that takes work. That takes quiet mornings and focused evenings. That takes choosing discipline over distractions. That takes saying no to things that don't serve your future. That takes learning, practicing, refining again and again and again. And while you do that, the outside world might not see it. They might still judge. They might still assume. But you will know. You will feel the change happening inside. You will know that you're getting sharper. You will feel your focus tightening. You will see the proof in your habits. You will feel the improvement in your strength and your mindset and your results. You don't need to talk about what's coming. You need to become the person who can handle it when it does. You don't need to explain where you've been. You need to move forward so powerfully that your next level becomes obvious. You don't need to beg for patience or support. You need to work so consistently that your life eventually shows them what you were building. That's how progress works. It shows up in silence. It grows when no one's watching. It gains power when you stop chasing explanations and start chasing improvement. It multiplies when you measure your days not by how much attention you get, but by how much better you've become. That's where the real edge is. That's where breakthroughs come from. Not from noise, from work, from clarity, from honest effort. Every day is a decision. Talk or work. Prove or explain. Build or wait. Get better or stay the same. The choice is always yours. You're not stuck unless you stop. You're not behind unless you quit. You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself a better version of you, and that version is built in the quiet moments where you choose growth over attention and results over words. Number 3. Embrace being ignored and double your daily output. There's a strange kind of power in being ignored. It doesn't feel good at first. In fact, it can feel lonely and unfair. You might wonder why nobody sees the effort you're putting in. You might question why your name isn't mentioned, why your progress isn't noticed, why your potential is overlooked. But the truth is, being ignored is one of the greatest opportunities you'll ever have. When no one is watching, you are free. Free to build without pressure. Free to grow without distraction. Free to double your output without expectation from anyone else. That freedom is rare and valuable. Most people want recognition too early. They look around hoping someone notices their effort. But what matters is not being seen. What matters is becoming effective. What matters is using the silence to sharpen your discipline. What matters is turning every ignored day into a productive one. When the spotlight isn't on you, the pressure is low. And that's the best time to put in double the work. No applause, no noise, just quiet improvement. Day after day. When you're ignored, nobody is checking up on you. Nobody is praising you. That might feel discouraging, but it gives you space to focus only on what truly matters. You stop worrying about what others think and start thinking about how to get better. You stop wasting time managing perceptions and start managing your time with precision. There's no one to impress but yourself, and that's exactly how growth becomes real. If you're serious about building something strong, use this time when you're not getting attention to get sharper, more focused, and more consistent. Let others stay busy being seen. Let them stay focused on their image. You go to work, you take your energy and pour it into action, into results, into tangible progress that stacks up over time. You stop chasing attention and start chasing execution. The ones who work twice as hard during the silent seasons are the ones who eventually become impossible to ignore. It's not about bitterness. It's not about proving anything to others. It's about using what you have right now. Time, energy, freedom, and making the most of it. Instead of complaining that you're not being noticed, double your output. Instead of waiting for praise, finish twice the tasks. Instead of wondering when your moment will come, build a foundation that will make the moment undeniable when it does. And if it doesn't come from others, make sure it comes from within you. A sense of certainty that you are doing the right thing, whether or not anyone says a word about it. You don't control who pays attention to your work, but you control how much effort you give. You control how much you produce. You control how you respond to silence. You can either slow down because you feel overlooked, or you can speed up and leave no doubt. You can either wait for recognition, or you can build a life that speaks louder than any praise ever could. That power is in your hands. Every ignored day is a chance to go unnoticed and uninterrupted. You can either see that as discouragement, or use it as an advantage. When people aren't watching you, they're not interfering. They're not interrupting your pace. They're not influencing your choices. That means you get to set your own rhythm. You get to raise your own bar. You get to build without comparison. And when you start doubling your daily output, you separate yourself from the rest, quietly, powerfully, relentlessly. This is where mental toughness is built. In the silence, in the shadows. When it's just you and the work. You can decide to keep your standards high, even when no one is giving you feedback. You can decide that your discipline matters more than their attention. That your goals matter more than their praise. That your time is too valuable to waste on frustration. Every extra rep, every extra hour, every extra ounce of effort adds up. You may not see the results immediately, but over time they begin to multiply. You must not let temporary invisibility convince you to do less. Instead, use it as motivation to do more. Your job is to be so consistent, so dedicated, that your results eventually make your presence impossible to overlook. Not because you begged to be seen, but because you built something undeniable, something real, something earned. In these moments, your progress depends on your willingness to stay locked in without needing external encouragement. It's about discipline, not inspiration. It's about showing up when the excitement wears off. It's about working without anyone watching and still choosing to give your best. The winners are the ones who can stay focused without being fueled by attention. They learn how to find satisfaction in the effort itself. They learn how to turn routine into momentum. Being ignored is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of mastery. It's where you separate yourself from the crowd. While others are looking around, hoping for support, you're looking inward, pushing your own limits. That's what doubling your output means. It means doing more, not because someone asked you to, but because you've made the decision to take yourself seriously. If you can double your daily output without needing recognition, you're already ahead. Because the ones who rely on applause for their energy will burn out when it stops. But you will keep going, you will keep building, you will keep growing, not because of attention, but because of who you've chosen to become. You don't need reminders to stay focused. You need structure. You need discipline. You need targets that you hit whether or not someone is checking. That's how you grow stronger. That's how you rise quietly. That's how you move forward when others stall. This is your opportunity, not a punishment, not a failure, not rejection. This is your edge. This is your window to separate yourself without distraction. Embrace it fully. Welcome the silence. Turn it into a workshop for growth. Use it to get sharper, faster, smarter, stronger. Let your output become the story. Let your discipline become the answer. Let your results say everything that silence never could. Keep track of your improvement. Set your goals higher. Break your own limits. Don't settle for average progress. Don't slow down because no one sees you yet. Speed up. Push harder. Rise earlier. Stay later. Build something that lasts. Your consistency will echo. Your results will echo. And when the world finally sees you, they'll only see the tip of the effort you've been putting in daily. Until then, embrace being ignored and double your daily output. Every day, no excuses, no need for attention, just work. Number 4, destroy weakness by working harder than you feel. Weakness doesn't leave on its own. It doesn't fade away because you hope it will. It doesn't disappear because you're tired of feeling it. Weakness is destroyed by effort. It is destroyed by movement. It is destroyed by showing up and doing the work no matter how heavy you feel. When your body is slow and your mind is full of doubt, that's when you decide who you really are. You don't wait to feel strong. You become strong by pushing through the moments when you feel weak. The difference between progress and staying stuck is how you act when you don't feel like it. When you don't want to wake up early. When you don't want to face your routine. When your energy is low. When everything in you says rest or quit or pause. That's where the decision is made. Working harder than you feel doesn't mean you ignore your limits. It means you don't let your feelings be the reason you stop. It means you take control over your choices, and you keep moving forward even when motivation is nowhere to be found. The mistake most people make is they wait for the right feeling. They wait for a spark. They wait to feel confident or excited. But waiting for that feeling means you'll wait forever. Real growth begins when you work without needing to feel like it. When you act because it's necessary, not because it's comfortable. Every time you do that, you're weakening the voice that tells you to stop. Every time you do that, you're strengthening the part of you that's reliable, responsible, disciplined. Weakness speaks in excuses. It tells you to go easy, to take today off, to give yourself permission to do less. But you can train yourself to speak louder than that voice. You can train yourself to override it by taking action anyway. If you're tired, work tired. If you're overwhelmed, work small and steady. If you feel like quitting, focus on one more task. You don't destroy weakness all at once. You chip away at it every day. You replace it with habit, with effort, with grit. You don't build a better life by avoiding hard days. You build a better life by showing up regardless of how hard the day is. Discipline is about doing the right thing, even when it's the last thing you want to do. That's how you earn strength. That's how you build the mindset that wins. Not by waiting for energy, but by becoming someone who creates energy through action. You must learn to separate how you feel from what you do. Just because you feel tired doesn't mean you can't move. Just because you feel discouraged doesn't mean you're finished. Just because you feel slow doesn't mean you can't start. You are not your feelings. You are your actions. Your progress is measured by what you do when it's hard, not by what you do when it's easy. Every time you push through discomfort, you build confidence. You begin to trust yourself. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than what you thought. And that's where real power comes from. Not from having the perfect day, but from mastering the hard ones. From looking your weakness in the eye and doing the work anyway. This doesn't mean you ignore your health or push yourself into burnout. It means you stop letting weakness set the tone. You stop giving in to every lazy impulse. You start taking responsibility for what you can do, instead of focusing on what you don't feel like doing. You learn to respect your goals enough to work through resistance. You show up for yourself, even when no one else will. The best way to destroy weakness is through movement. Start your day with action. Get out of bed when it's hard. Begin your work before you're ready. Finish what you planned even when you'd rather not. Momentum is created by motion, not by thought. The more you act, the less power weakness has. The more you move, the more energy you gain. The more you finish, the stronger you feel. There is no secret formula, just the truth. Hard work beats weakness when you do it consistently. You might not feel strong in the moment. You might feel like every step takes extra effort. But that's where growth lives. In the extra effort. In the decision to keep going when it would be easier to stop. Weakness cannot survive in a mind that chooses effort over comfort again and again. Nobody can build this for you. Nobody can give you discipline. Nobody can make you do the work. This part is on you. This part is your responsibility. It starts with a simple rule. When you feel weak, move anyway. When you feel stuck, take the next step. When you feel like resting, evaluate whether you've earned it. Train yourself to stop negotiating with your feelings. Train yourself to lead with commitment instead of convenience. Don't let emotions run your life. They change too quickly. Let your standards run your life. Let your discipline lead. The truth is, the pain of effort is always smaller than the pain of regret. You never look back and wish you'd done less. You look back and wish you'd pushed through, wish you'd stayed consistent, wish you'd taken one more step. That's what you can control. Not how you feel, but what you choose to do next. Even the smallest act of discipline is a victory. It might not seem like much at the time, but it adds up. It changes your direction. It reshapes how you see yourself. And every time you work harder than you feel, you rewrite your limits. You prove that weakness doesn't have the final word. You prove that you're stronger than you thought. You build resilience by repeating this choice again and again. Your life changes when you stop treating your emotions as instructions. When you stop believing that a bad mood means you have to have a bad day. When you stop waiting to feel right before you do what's right. Start today. Push through the resistance. Move when it's hard. Focus when it's uncomfortable. Finish what you start. And know that every time you do, you are destroying weakness and replacing it with strength. Number 5. Turn rejection into fuel and master your discipline. Rejection will visit anyone who dares to try. It's not reserved for the weak or the unprepared. It meets even the strong, the consistent, and the focused. You can do your best, give your time, offer your heart, and still be told no, still be overlooked, still be passed by. That's the nature of doing anything worthwhile. But rejection is not the problem. It's your response to it that decides what happens next. You can let it break you, or you can use it to build something even stronger. The choice is always in your hands. When someone says you're not good enough, you don't need to convince them otherwise. You don't need to argue your value or prove your worth in their eyes. What you need is to take that pain and turn it into focus. Let it push you to improve. Let it remind you that your mission doesn't stop because someone else doesn't see it. When you're rejected, you're not broken. You're being trained. You're being given an invitation to sharpen your edge and work more precisely. Rejection forces you to face your discipline, because when the outside validation disappears, you are left with only your habits and your standards. If your effort was built on being praised, it will collapse. But if your effort was built on personal ownership, you will keep showing up even when no one claps. That is what discipline is. It's the decision to continue without applause. It's the decision to stay committed when your ego is bruised. It's the steady push forward when all the signals around you say stop. Most people run from rejection because they don't want to feel exposed. They think if someone turns them down, it means they are not ready. But the ones who rise are the ones who treat rejection as feedback, not final judgment. They don't waste time doubting themselves. They use the pain as information. They study it. They ask themselves what they can fix, what they can upgrade, where they can improve, and then they get back to work. You have to learn how to face rejection without shrinking, without lowering your goals, without making excuses. Let the rejection hit, but don't let it define your identity. Use it to toughen your mind. Use it to fuel better habits. Use it to go longer and harder than you did before. There's power in not quitting when it hurts. There's strength in continuing even when you feel unrecognized. Every time you keep going after rejection, you're building a mind that doesn't bend to setbacks. Discipline means you're not working for approval. You're working for progress. It means your goals are not dependent on anyone liking what you do. You don't need anyone to understand your vision in order for you to keep moving toward it. You show up for the routine because you made a promise to yourself, not because the world cheered for you. That's the shift. That's where transformation lives. The most powerful thing you can do after rejection is double down on your focus. Show up sharper. Train harder. Eliminate distractions. Keep your word to yourself even when you're tired. Keep the small promises. Stick to your schedule. Do what you said you would. Rejection tries to take your confidence, but discipline brings it back. It restores your control. It puts you back in motion. You don't become strong by avoiding discomfort. You become strong by using it. Rejection is uncomfortable, but it carries value if you're willing to sit with it and turn it into something useful. Let it show you what matters. Let it help you see who you really are when everything feels personal. Because that's what discipline reveals, who you are when it's difficult, when it's thankless, when it's silent. If you can still work then, you've got something real. This world does not owe you validation. The best work often goes unseen for a long time. But if you keep doing it, if you stay consistent, if you use rejection as fuel, you become impossible to ignore. You start moving in a way that doesn't require recognition to continue. And that is the kind of discipline that separates people. That's what makes someone dangerous in the best way. Focused, committed, emotionally grounded. You don't respond to rejection by yelling back at the world. You respond by locking in tighter, by building your discipline so strong that nothing shakes it. You respond by getting up earlier, working longer, focusing deeper. You respond by growing in silence. That's how you turn the sting of rejection into the fire of improvement. That's how you create your own momentum. Rejection can knock you down, but discipline picks you back up, every single time. You might feel defeated for a moment, but discipline reminds you of the bigger picture. It tells you this isn't the end. It tells you the only way to lose is to stop. As long as you keep showing up, you're winning. Maybe not in results right away, but in becoming someone who doesn't fold under pressure. This is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You don't need to get everything right. You need to keep going. Every rejection is a moment. Don't make it your identity. Don't let it own you. Let it teach you. Let it strengthen your will. The more you master your discipline, the less control rejection has over your mood, your pace, your belief. You don't need to explain yourself to those who reject you. You need to outgrow them. You need to outwork the version of you that was waiting for approval. You need to build a mindset that keeps rising no matter who turns their back. That kind of mindset is rare, and it is earned through work, not words. Discipline is the answer when rejection shows up. It keeps you moving in the right direction even when the road gets narrow. It reminds you that your potential is not capped by other people's opinions. When they say no, you say next. When they close the door, you build another. When they stop believing, you believe harder. Because that's what fuel is. It powers the next step, and the step after that, and the next one after that. Keep going. Keep your pace. Keep your promise. Use rejection. Master discipline. And build yourself into someone unstoppable. Number 6. Build strength alone and show up without applause. Strength is not built on praise or recognition. It grows quietly when no one is watching. When you decide to improve, to get better, to push your limits without needing validation, that is where true power lives. Too many people wait for someone to notice them. They wait for cheers, approval, or support. Waiting for applause is waiting for permission to work hard. That permission may never come. The difference between success and failure often comes down to what you do when no one else is paying attention. It's easy to work hard when people are watching. The energy feels different when there's applause or encouragement. But the real challenge is to show up the same way when there is no recognition at all. When the room is empty and the only voice you hear is your own. That is where strength is tested and built. When you work alone, without spotlight, without encouragement, you train your mind to be your own source of motivation. You create habits that don't rely on external factors. Building strength alone means learning to trust yourself. Trust your routine, your effort, your commitment. It means waking up early because you want to be better, not because someone expects it. It means working late because you know progress requires sacrifice, not because you want to impress others. When you develop this mindset, your actions become consistent. Your results become unstoppable because you are no longer dependent on others to fuel your drive. Showing up without applause is about discipline. Discipline is about keeping your word to yourself when no one else is around to hold you accountable. It's about doing the work you promised to do, even when it's difficult or boring or tiring. This is where greatness is formed. In the quiet hours when you choose effort over comfort, when you choose persistence over distractions, that's how you build strength that lasts. Nobody owes you recognition for your work. You don't need to explain yourself or seek approval. The only person who truly matters in your journey is you. You have to be your own biggest fan. You have to celebrate your own victories, no matter how small. Every time you show up alone and do the work you said you would, you strengthen your character. You prove that you are reliable and committed, that you have the inner strength to keep moving forward. This process can be lonely. There will be days when you feel unseen and unheard, days when the silence around your effort feels heavy. But those are the days that separate those who succeed from those who give up. When you keep going despite feeling invisible, you show resilience, you show toughness, you show a level of dedication that very few can match. And that kind of strength becomes your greatest asset. Strength built alone is flexible and real. It doesn't crumble when challenges come. It doesn't bend when distractions try to pull you away. It stays firm because it's rooted in your habits and decisions, not in the approval of others. When you rely on yourself for motivation, you create a foundation that can handle any storm. You build a mindset that can face rejection, failure, and setbacks without losing momentum. The path to success is rarely glamorous. It is often a slow, steady climb filled with quiet moments of effort. You won't always get applause for grinding through the hard work. You won't always be praised for staying consistent. But what you will get is something far more valuable: self-respect, confidence, and control over your future. That is the payoff of showing up without applause. It's important to remind yourself why you started. Your goals, your dreams, your vision, they are not dependent on the recognition of others. They are dependent on your willingness to keep working, even when it feels thankless, even when it feels difficult. This is where your commitment is tested. This is where you decide who you want to be. Someone who gives up when ignored, or someone who builds strength silently and steadily. Every effort you put in alone is a deposit into your future. Every sacrifice is an investment in your progress. You are creating a reserve of strength that will support you in moments when the journey gets tougher. This strength is invisible to the outside world, but it is real to you. It is the reason you can keep going when others stop. It is the reason you can outperform those who rely on external praise. Building strength alone is not easy. It requires courage to face your doubts and fears without distraction. It requires honesty to look at your weaknesses and decide to improve them quietly. It requires patience to trust the process without immediate reward. But those who master this art unlock a power that no one can take away. They become unstoppable because their drive comes from within. You don't have to wait for applause to start working hard. You don't need an audience to push yourself. The work you do when no one is watching matters the most. It shapes your future. It defines your character. It creates momentum that leads to breakthroughs. The habit of showing up alone builds a foundation that supports success in every area of life. When you focus on building strength alone, you become less distracted by opinions. You stop chasing approval and start chasing progress. Your energy becomes focused on what you control, your actions, your attitude, your effort. This shift changes everything. You become more confident because you know your worth isn't measured by others. You become more resilient because you've learned to rely on yourself. In the end, showing up without applause is a declaration. It says you are here to do the work no matter what. You are committed to your goals even when recognition is absent. You are stronger than your circumstances and your feelings. You are building a life that doesn't depend on the applause of others, but on the strength you've created inside. Number 7. Let your struggle drive you to new standards. Struggle is not a sign that you are failing. It is proof that you are growing. When life pushes hard against you, that pressure is molding your character and your future. The way you respond to struggle determines the quality of your life. Struggle offers a choice. You can let it break you or let it build you into something stronger. Instead of running away from difficulty, use it as fuel to raise the bar for what you accept in your life and work. Let your challenges push you toward better habits, stronger discipline, and higher goals. When you decide to let struggle drive you, you stop being a victim of circumstances. You take control by setting new standards for yourself and how you react and how much effort you give. Struggle forces you to reflect on what has held you back and where you need to improve. It sharpens your focus on what truly matters. Your struggle becomes a teacher that shows you exactly what you must overcome to reach the next level. This mindset moves you from frustration to determination. Raising your standards means refusing to settle for less than your potential. It means looking at your past failures and disappointments, not as dead ends, but as signals for growth. Struggle highlights weaknesses that need work, but it also reveals untapped strength within you. Every tough moment is a chance to challenge yourself to do better than before. Your reaction to struggle shapes your future success by demanding more from your actions, your attitude, and your commitment. Letting struggle guide you to new standards requires honesty. You must face where you fall short without excuses. This can be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Honest self-assessment allows you to identify bad habits or limiting beliefs that keep you stuck. It also helps you set clear goals that are meaningful and realistic. Without honesty, you cannot move forward. Struggle forces that honesty because it exposes the gap between where you are and where you want to be. New standards are built through consistent effort and intentional change. It is not about making one big leap, but about small daily improvements. Each time you overcome a difficulty or push through resistance, you add to your strength and resilience. This progress becomes visible when you look back and see how far you have come. Struggle pushes you to develop patience and persistence because real growth takes time. The higher your standards, the more you commit to the work needed to meet them. Your struggle also teaches you to embrace discomfort. Success does not come from ease, but from willingness to face challenges head on. When you set new standards, you accept that growth often feels uncomfortable. You learn to welcome that discomfort because you know it leads to improvement. This attitude change is vital because most people avoid struggle and give up early. Your willingness to stay in the fight sets you apart and prepares you for greater rewards. The power of struggle lies in its ability to transform your mindset. Instead of seeing hardship as punishment, you see it as opportunity. Every setback becomes a lesson and every failure a step forward. This perspective changes how you approach goals and obstacles. It fills you with determination to never quit or lower your standards just to avoid pain. Struggle becomes the foundation of your confidence because you prove to yourself that you can endure and grow stronger. Letting struggle push you to new standards means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you and hold you accountable. The right support system helps you stay focused when things get tough. It provides honest feedback that prevents you from slipping back into old patterns. People who believe in your potential encourage you to aim higher. They remind you of your commitment when struggle threatens to overwhelm you. This community is part of the strength you build through struggle. Every struggle is unique, but the principles are the same. You use the difficulty to evaluate your current level and then decide on a higher standard. You take responsibility for closing the gap between your present and your future. This is not about perfection, but about progress and growth. New standards mean you refuse to accept excuses or give yourself permission to quit. You become relentless in pursuit of improvement because struggle has taught you what is at stake. When you let struggle drive your growth, you build character that lasts beyond any moment of pain. You become someone who faces challenges without fear or avoidance. This strength shows up in every part of life, from work to relationships to personal goals. The new standards you create are a reflection of who you are becoming. You transform struggle from a barrier into a stepping stone. This process builds not only success, but also deep fulfillment and pride in your journey. The key is to keep moving forward no matter how hard it feels. Struggle will test your limits, but each time you push past those limits, you expand them. You grow in ways that comfort never could achieve. This growth is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Letting struggle raise your standards is the difference between settling for a life less than you deserve and building a life worth living. It demands effort, but rewards with strength, wisdom, and achievement. Struggle calls you to action. It demands you to take control of your life and refuse to be defined by hardships. Your response shapes the kind of future you create. When struggle fuels your drive to reach new heights, you create a powerful momentum that propels you forward. You learn to meet difficulty with courage and purpose. This journey is not easy, but it is necessary for anyone who wants to live a life of real success and meaning. In the face of struggle, choose growth over comfort. Raise your standards beyond what you thought possible. Use every challenge as motivation to improve and expand your potential. This is how struggle becomes your greatest asset in achieving the life you want. The path is tough, but the rewards are greater than you can imagine. Keep pushing forward because your struggle is shaping you into the person you need to become to win. Number 8. Win each day by outlasting every excuse inside. Every day you face an internal battle. It's not with people around you, not with circumstances or outside forces. The fight is with your own excuses. Those quiet voices that tell you to stop, to rest, to take the easy way out. They whisper things like, "You're tired. You don't have enough time," or "You'll do it tomorrow." These excuses are the biggest obstacles standing between you and your success. Winning each day means outlasting these voices. It means refusing to let them control your actions or dictate your progress. Excuses come naturally to everyone. The mind looks for shortcuts and comfort because that's how it's wired. But the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is who fights the longest. It's who refuses to give up when the urge to quit shows up. Winning daily is not about eliminating excuses completely. It's about mastering the ability to push through them consistently. It's about recognizing those moments when excuses arise and choosing to act anyway. To win each day, you must first recognize your excuses as lies. They are not facts or truths. They are just stories your mind tells to protect you from discomfort. You have to become aware of them as they happen. The moment you feel the pull to delay or stop, acknowledge it, then remind yourself what's really at stake. You have goals that deserve your full effort. Your future depends on how you respond when excuses knock on your door. Outlasting excuses requires discipline. Discipline is the muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. It's built by saying no to that inner voice telling you to quit. Discipline means showing up even when motivation fades. It means starting when you feel tired. It means continuing when you feel overwhelmed. It's the difference between those who keep moving forward and those who fall behind. Every excuse you resist is a victory. It builds confidence and momentum. The more you push through, the more natural it becomes to ignore those limiting thoughts. Over time, the habit of outlasting excuses creates a new identity. You start to see yourself as someone who never stops, someone who always fights for progress. This identity shift changes everything. It gives you power over your choices and builds resilience to future challenges. The hardest part about excuses is they feel comfortable. Giving in is easy in the moment, but comfort is a trap that leads to regret and frustration. The pain of lost opportunities grows over time, but it's preventable if you learn to outlast the excuses early. Every day is a chance to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts, that your dreams are worth more than your fears. To win each day, create a plan to deal with your excuses before they appear. Know your triggers, the moments or feelings that usually bring excuses forward. Maybe it's fatigue after a long day, or boredom during repetitive work. Prepare in advance how you will respond. This preparation turns you from a victim of excuses into a master of your actions. When excuses show up, you're ready to meet them with determination. Visualize the result of pushing past your excuses. See yourself finishing that task, hitting that goal, making progress no matter how small. Let that image be stronger than the comfort your excuses offer. Your future self is waiting on the other side of effort. The moment you choose to act rather than quit is the moment you move closer to becoming the person you want to be. Remember that outlasting excuses doesn't mean ignoring your body or mind's need for rest and care. It means distinguishing between genuine limits and the desire to avoid discomfort. True strength comes from balanced effort, not reckless burnout. Listen to your needs, but never let excuses control your direction. Take care of yourself while pushing through resistance. Celebrate the small wins each day. When you choose action over excuses, each step forward adds up. Each moment you refuse to quit builds character and grit. Keep track of these victories to remind yourself that progress is possible. Use this evidence to silence the excuses faster in the future. Winning is about persistence, not perfection. It helps to surround yourself with reminders of your commitment. Write down your goals and reasons for working hard. Place them where you see them often. These reminders reinforce your focus and reduce the power of excuses. When your mind drifts toward giving up, these truths pull you back to your purpose. Keep your reasons visible and clear to fuel your determination. The journey to success is built from thousands of daily choices. Outlasting excuses is choosing effort over ease every single time. It's a simple principle, but not an easy one. The path demands more from you than comfort. It asks for your persistence, your willpower, and your faith in yourself. Each day you win this battle, you're proving that you can endure anything in pursuit of your dreams. Never underestimate the power of showing up, even when excuses shout louder than motivation. The people who succeed are not always the most talented or gifted. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They outlast their excuses, their doubts, and their fears. They win by being consistent even when it's tough. And that consistency compounds over time into extraordinary results. The secret is simple. Don't give your excuses the time or energy they crave. Notice them, acknowledge them, then focus on what you can control, your actions. Act despite the discomfort, the tiredness, the fear. Keep your eyes on the prize and remember why you started. Winning each day is about outlasting every excuse and choosing effort above all else. That is how progress is made. That is how success is earned. Number 9. Use loneliness to sharpen your focus and grind. Loneliness is often seen as a weakness or a punishment. Many fear being alone because it forces them to face themselves without distractions. But loneliness can be one of the greatest tools for sharpening your focus and grinding toward your goals. When you're alone, you're free from outside noise, opinions, and interruptions. This silence can become a powerful ally if you learn to use it correctly. It creates space to concentrate deeply and work hard without excuses. In loneliness, you face no one but yourself. This can be uncomfortable at first. You may feel vulnerable or uncertain, but that feeling is exactly why loneliness is valuable. It pushes you to depend on your own strength and clarity. It challenges you to find motivation inside rather than seeking it from others. The more you embrace this solitude, the stronger your inner focus becomes. You learn to block out distractions and tune into what matters most. Grinding in loneliness means committing to your work, even when no one is around to watch or support you. It means taking responsibility for your own progress without relying on external encouragement. When you work alone, every task becomes a test of your dedication. Your results are proof of your commitment, not the praise of others. This builds a resilient mindset that carries you through difficult times and setbacks. Loneliness sharpens your ability to prioritize. Without the noise of others' opinions or the pull of social distractions, your mind becomes clearer. You can identify the actions that truly matter and focus your energy there. This clarity prevents wasted effort and increases your productivity. Instead of being pulled in many directions, you concentrate on the steps that lead to success. You develop habits that support steady growth day after day. The grind in solitude strengthens your self-discipline. You learn to push yourself without relying on outside motivation. When no one is there to cheer you on, your discipline becomes the engine driving you forward. You create routines and stick to them because you know your future depends on it. This inner drive builds confidence and character, making you unstoppable in pursuit of your goals. Loneliness also allows for reflection and learning. In quiet moments alone, you can evaluate your progress honestly. You can identify mistakes without fear of judgment and find ways to improve. This self-awareness is crucial for growth. When you grind in solitude, you become your own coach and critic. This continuous self-improvement fuels your momentum and sharpens your skills. Feeling lonely while grinding can be tough emotionally. It requires mental toughness to resist the urge to seek comfort in distractions or social interactions. But that resistance is training your mind to stay focused on what truly matters. You develop the ability to endure discomfort for the sake of long-term success. This resilience makes your efforts more meaningful because they are deliberate and consistent. Using loneliness as a tool means changing your mindset about being alone. Instead of seeing it as isolation or failure, see it as opportunity. It's a chance to build strength, focus, and independence. This shift in perspective turns solitude into a valuable part of your success journey. The quieter your environment, the louder your commitment can become. Your greatest breakthroughs often come from the hours spent alone working without distraction. Those hours build the foundation for achievement. They are not wasted or lonely moments, but investments in your future. The grind done in solitude is where habits form and skills develop. It's the behind-the-scenes effort that prepares you for the spotlight when the time comes. To make loneliness work for you, create a space and time where you can be fully focused. Remove interruptions and distractions. Set clear goals for what you want to accomplish during this time. Approach your work with intention and determination. This focused grind produces more results than scattered effort done with distractions. Loneliness helps you build a mindset of self-reliance. You become comfortable with depending on your own efforts and judgment. This independence is essential for long-term success because no one else will always be there to push you. The ability to grind alone means you can keep going even when circumstances are tough or support is missing. Your work ethic becomes your safety net. The process may feel slow at times. Progress in solitude doesn't always come with immediate rewards or recognition, but the daily grind creates compound effects that lead to massive improvements over time. The strength built in loneliness will outlast temporary distractions or setbacks. It is the foundation of lasting achievement. Many people avoid loneliness because they fear missing out or feeling disconnected. But successful people learn to use it as a tool. They understand that time spent grinding alone is essential for reaching their potential. The ability to focus without external input sets them apart. They develop skills and habits that make their success inevitable. Loneliness also brings clarity about what you really want. When distractions fade away, your true priorities come into focus. This helps you align your efforts with your deepest goals. Your grind becomes purposeful and effective. You stop wasting time on things that don't matter and invest fully in what will move you forward. Working hard in solitude teaches patience. Success rarely happens overnight. It requires consistent effort over weeks, months, and years. Loneliness helps you accept this reality and stay committed. You learn to trust the process even when progress is slow or invisible to others. This trust builds inner peace and confidence. The grind sharpened by loneliness prepares you for any challenge. When distractions and support are missing, your focus remains unshaken. You build mental toughness that helps you push through obstacles and setbacks. This resilience allows you to keep moving forward no matter what comes your way. Choosing to use loneliness as a tool is a decision. It requires courage to face discomfort and uncertainty, but that courage leads to growth. It creates a foundation for success that no one can take away. The more you embrace solitude for focus and grind, the stronger and more capable you become. Your journey will be unique. The lessons learned in loneliness will shape your character and work ethic. You will develop the ability to create results without relying on external factors. This independence makes your success more meaningful and lasting. Each day spent sharpening your focus and grinding alone is a step closer to your dreams. The power of loneliness lies in what you do with it. Use it wisely and it will serve you well on your path to greatness. Number 10. Rise early with purpose and execute with urgency. Every successful person understands the value of starting the day ahead of the crowd. Waking up early is not just about the time on the clock. It is about waking up with intention and a clear reason that pushes you out of bed before anyone else. The quiet hours of the morning hold a special kind of power. They give you an edge that cannot be matched by rushing through the day or waiting for motivation to arrive. Rising early with purpose means you commit to making every minute count. It's about setting the tone for your day by stepping into action immediately. Purpose gives meaning to your morning routine. When you know exactly why you get up early, it fuels your energy and focus. You do not waste time wondering what to do next or feeling tempted to stay in bed. Instead, your mind is clear and directed. You've already decided that this time is yours to grow, improve, or work hard. That kind of clarity drives results because you move forward with determination. Purpose transforms waking up from a habit into a mission. It's the first step toward outworking everyone else who sleeps in or delays their start. Urgency is the force that makes your actions powerful. It means you don't drag your feet or let distractions steal your momentum. When you rise early and work with urgency, you create momentum that lasts throughout the day. This urgency does not mean rushing recklessly, but rather being decisive and committed to progress. It means tackling your most important tasks first, pushing through resistance, and refusing to settle for average. Execution with urgency separates those who talk about their goals from those who achieve them. The combination of rising early and executing with urgency creates a rhythm of discipline. It trains your mind and body to focus on what matters most when you are fresh and alert. The morning is the best time to accomplish high-value work because your energy has not yet been drained by the day's distractions. When you seize this time, you set a pattern of success. Your confidence grows because you see consistent progress. The act of showing up early and taking immediate action builds habits that carry over into every other area of life. Waking up early with purpose is not easy at first. It requires willpower to resist the comfort of sleep and distractions of the night. But that struggle is a test of your commitment. Each morning you choose to get up and move forward, you strengthen your mental toughness. This toughness becomes the foundation of resilience. You become someone who does not quit when things get hard or when motivation fades. You develop a mindset that success is earned through consistent effort, not by waiting for the perfect moment. Urgency and execution forces you to value your time highly. It changes the way you approach tasks because you understand that wasted minutes cannot be recovered. You stop procrastinating or delaying action because you know the cost of inaction is falling behind. This urgency sharpens your decision-making. You learn to prioritize quickly and to focus on what will have the biggest impact. It makes your efforts more efficient and effective. You become a person who gets things done rather than one who only plans or dreams. The early hours also provide a chance to prepare mentally and emotionally for the day. When you wake with purpose, you start by focusing on your goals and intentions. You remind yourself why the work matters and how it aligns with your bigger vision. This mental preparation reduces anxiety and increases confidence. It helps you face challenges with a positive attitude. You step into your day ready to handle obstacles instead of being overwhelmed by them. Executing with urgency means you maintain that intensity beyond the morning. It is about carrying the same focused energy into every task. This approach breaks down large goals into actionable steps that you can complete quickly and thoroughly. Urgency drives you to avoid distractions like social media or unnecessary meetings. You create boundaries that protect your time and keep you accountable. This level of discipline leads to rapid progress and builds momentum that others struggle to match. Rising early with purpose also means taking care of yourself physically and mentally. When you start your day with healthy habits like exercise, hydration, and good nutrition, you improve your energy levels. This physical readiness supports your ability to work hard and maintain urgency. A strong body fuels a strong mind. Taking this responsibility seriously allows you to perform at your best consistently. It makes your efforts sustainable over the long haul. The discipline of early rising is contagious. It influences your entire lifestyle. When you respect your mornings, you respect your goals. You become more organized, more focused, and more driven. Your confidence grows as you see what you can accomplish with a clear mind and steady effort. The ripple effect spreads into your relationships, your work, and your personal growth. This simple habit can transform your entire life. Urgency requires continuous self-reminders and accountability. It means setting deadlines and pushing yourself to meet them. It means not settling for excuses or delays. You learn to recognize when you are slipping into comfort zones and bring yourself back to action. This self-discipline becomes second nature. It is the difference between average effort and outstanding achievement. Rising early with purpose and executing with urgency aligns your daily actions with your deepest ambitions. It is a way of living that keeps you ahead of competition and in control of your success. This practice separates those who watch life pass by from those who create their future actively. The energy and clarity gained in those quiet morning hours become a source of power. This power allows you to push harder, last longer, and achieve more than most ever will. Every day is an opportunity to rise earlier, act faster, and move closer to your dreams. The habit of starting strong builds a chain of wins that strengthen your belief in yourself. It teaches you that success is not luck, but the product of deliberate choices and fierce effort. The more you practice waking up with purpose and working with urgency, the more unstoppable you become. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today and refuse to wait for permission or applause.